Good Wednesday morning. Glad you could join us. Take a look at this right behind us. This is a pretty active radar. That is snow coming into the Twin Cities and the surrounding area.
Yeah, it looks like it's sitting over Alexandria, that stretch of 94 right now. So let's get out to Guy, who is tracking the snow showers and when they're going to hit the metro.
Yeah, you can see here on this map showing those snow showers, mainly after 8 for the Twin Cities, but we could see some flakes fly during the 8 o'clock hour as you get into the Twin Cities metro, especially for our northern communities. So I'll be tracking that out for you with radar all morning long. But for now, things quiet. Temperatures are in the teens, but it doesn't feel like that, of course. It feels like more like 8, even though average or temperatures right now are currently average 19. That's our average low. So again, I'll be tracking the snow out for you this morning. So stick around. Alicia.
Guy, thank you. Let's give you a look at the road. Traffic cameras. Here's one near the airport, 62 at Highway 5, slowly starting to get a little bit more crowded on the roadways. You can see the roads are in decent shape for now, but that might change in that 8 o'clock hour when the snow arrives. Now to a developing story overnight. Results are in from Georgia's high-stakes runoff election.
After an extremely close race, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock defeats Republican challenger Herschel Walker. Warnock's win means the Democrats have an outright majority in the Senate. Cece is here this morning. What we're taking away from this key race?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, there's two big takeaways here. Number one, nearly 2 million votes were cast ahead of Tuesday's election, and about 1.4 million more were cast on Election Day, which breaks records and shows the importance of this race. Number two, Warnock's win means Democrats now have true majority in the Senate. So all this means that in January, when the new Congress is sworn in, Democrats will control 51 to 49. This comes after 2 years under a 50-50 divide. Now the party will no longer have to negotiate a power-sharing deal with Republicans and won't have to rely on Vice President Kamala Harris to break as many tie votes. The senator says he plans to work for all Georgians, including in areas like lowering prescription costs, creating jobs across the state, and addressing criminal justice reform. Just into the newsroom, we're hearing from Warnock during his victory speech.
Just because people endured long lines that wrapped around buildings, some blocks long, just because they endured the rain and the cold and all kinds of tricks in order to vote, doesn't mean that voter suppression does not exist. It simply means that you, the people, have decided that your voices will not be silenced.
So this will be Warnock's first full 6-year term. Coming up in about 30 minutes, what Herschel Walker told his supporters during his concession speech.
Thanks for that, CC. Turning to the Minnesota State Capitol this morning, and in the days to come, Minnesota lawmakers have a big task at hand. They need to figure out how to spend a massive budget surplus.
The state's projecting a surplus of more than $17 billion. Jen is at the Capitol with why there's so much extra money and what might be done with it. Good morning, Jen.
Yeah, good morning. Why all the extra money? Well, Minnesota's budget office says that it is because of strong collections and lower than projected spending. A reminder that in the new session, Democrats control everything. They have the House, they have the Senate, of course, they have the governor's seat. So here's what they're thinking of doing with that extra $17 billion, more than $17 billion. They think more money for public schools, more targeted tax breaks for working families. Governor Walz has said he is not interested in tax cuts that would benefit the highest earners, but is open to exempting more people from income taxes on Social Security benefits. He also supports tax credits that will help families with child care costs. Then there's also federal infrastructure dollars for things like electric car charging stations that our state cannot get until the Minnesota legislature comes up with the matching funds.
We think we need to see universal meals, so this food insecurity issue is taken away. We know that we need to increase the number of mental health counselors that are there. Minnesota continues to rank near the bottom, and it's unacceptable.
Republicans are going to push for meaningful tax cuts. We think there is an opportunity, as I've said, to work with the DFL on things like Social Security. Those are things that both parties campaigned on, and we look forward to that work.
You might remember the governor floating the idea of rebate checks in the past. Some people called them Walz checks, $1,000 for individuals, $2,000 for families. The governor did address whether that's still something he wants to do. We'll hear from him about it coming up in just 30 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of interest in that. We'll be listening. That's in 1/2 hour. Thank you, Jen.
Minneapolis City Council just approved Mayor Fry's proposed budget for 2023 and 2024. The budget sets aside $1.6 billion for affordable housing, city works projects, economic development, and community health and safety. This is the first time Minneapolis has approved a 2-year budget. Mayor Fry praised the historic approval, as did council members.
I would be remiss if I didn't just say that this has been one of the most challenging years in Minneapolis history, and I think we have come through in a way that demonstrates that we can work together to move our city forward.
Also included in the new budget is staffing plans under the recently adopted Executive Mayor Legislative Council system. This morning, we're learning more about the man shot and killed by St. Paul police Monday night.
The man's friends and family have identified him as 24-year-old Howard Peter Johnson, and he is a father, leaving behind twin sons. Late Monday, officers say a woman called 911 to report Johnson was assaulting her near the intersection of Earl Street and Hudson Road. According to investigators, Johnson had a gun, and they believed he was trying to carjack a driver. That's when they intervened, and one officer fired, shooting him. Authorities are deciding if and when they may release body camera video.
A looming nurses' strike is now off the table for nearly all Minnesota hospitals. The Minnesota Nurses Association has come to a tentative agreement with area hospitals to give nurses a 17% to 18% raise and more input on staffing. It's a huge relief for patients and providers alike. Experts warned a long-term strike could have seriously hurt the level of care hospitals provide. All Twin Cities hospitals are on board, but nurses at St. Luke's in Duluth could still strike. 18 union represented nurses at that location have yet to reach a deal with administrators.
11 people have been charged with trespassing after police found them inside the Fridley sewers. Police say the group was traversing under major infrastructure, including a rail yard and water plant. One suspect claimed to have made it all the way to the Mississippi River. The suspects were discovered after a neighbor called police when he saw the group lift up a manhole cover and jump into the sewer.
The waterworks is across Main Street, so I was going, wait a minute. If they get over to waterworks, I don't know what they could have been doing over there.
Officers thought the group may be trying to break into a local business or the water processing plant, but the suspects told police they were urban exploring and meant no harm. An update this morning to the massive water main break Monday night in North Minneapolis. If you live in the 15-block area of North 2nd Street between North 26 and Lowry Avenues, you are under a boil water advisory. That means you have to boil your water for 3 minutes before drinking it.
Xcel Energy customers won't see a rate hike next year. The company is dropping its request to raise rates for its 1.3 million customers. Xcel worked out a compromise with the Public Utilities Commission. The company will withdraw its request for a rate increase next year if the commission gives them more flexibility and certainty with their budget. Xcel and the commission are still hashing out a 3-year rate agreement that won't be approved until next summer. Well, this winter, we're all trying to save some money on our heating bills.
And we sure are. And here are some tips to keep the heat inside, according to Eversource. Let natural light into your home and open the blinds. The sun will naturally heat your home. While you're at it, eliminate air leaks by weather stripping doors and caulking windows. Then check that your fireplace damper is closed. When it's not, warm air can escape through the chimney.
You'll also want to watch out for things in your home not in use but still plugged in, things like TVs, game consoles. That's producing what's called phantom power. Use an advanced power strip to shut down all connected electronics at once. Now to utilize your thermostat. You can program it to turn it down when you're sleeping or away from your home. And lastly, one of the biggest ways to put money back in your pocket is to add insulation. A home that's not properly insulated is like leaving a window open. So some helpful tips there to keep you warm this winter. And speaking of cold though, Guy, you're tracking some snow showers just in time for the later morning commute.
That is absolutely right, Alicia. So good morning to you guys. If you're just now joining us, you just heard Alicia, snow for the later morning commute hours. And let's get right to it. For now, things are quiet. This is going to be a passing snow shower, very brief. We'll actually see some sunshine later today, but with the passing snow, it could be just enough to kind of slow traffic down as you get later on into the drive. So clouds now overhead, 19. This is our average low. And it doesn't feel like it. It feels more like 8, so just dress for single-digit wind chills this morning. Right to the radar. Snow is getting a little bit closer to the Twin Cities metro, but still quite a few ways away. Again, you'll see our northern community is already tapping into snow, so it really depends on where you're watching from, because we have snow coming down in a few spots this morning, and you can see those darker shades picking up where the snow is a little bit heavier, and this will track eastward, clip the Twin Cities Metro later this morning, and can leave behind some slick spots. So for the next 12 hours after the morning snow, you'll see some sunshine. Temperatures don't escape the teens later this afternoon, so we're in for a cold day and an even colder start tomorrow morning with temperatures in the single digits. Clear skies tomorrow morning, but it's all going to be about the cold temps, wind chills tomorrow, so come back and join us on Sunrise tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll rebound nicely. And getting into Friday, more snow chances, so something that we're going to continue to kind of watch for you. Coming up here in about 10 minutes, I have microcast. I'll get a good timing. We'll get a good timing on this little snow maker later on this morning, so stick with us here. Cold start tomorrow, and then more snow chances. Not even Thursday night into Friday, but even for the weekend. So you'll see that all coming up in the 7-day.
Sounds good. Thanks, Guy. Right now, several viruses are going around, and as we get closer to the holidays, we're going to be around a lot more people.
Isn't that the truth? After the break, how worried some people are about what's making people actually sick.
Then consumer experts release their rankings on which grocery store has the lowest prices, the money-saving trend they found shoppers doing.
Right now, Minneapolis businesses are rallying together and filling the city with some cheer. The way they're getting into the holiday spirit and spreading the word about shops and restaurants.
I think I finally got in the spirit last night.
Why?
I watched Elf.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I didn't
I thought
realize.
you meant the spirits like in your liquor cabinet.
No.
15 years of storytelling, hundreds of videos, all in one place. Land of 10,000 Stories, the complete collection. Rewatch your favorite stories or use the interactive map to find new stories across our state. Go to care11.com/land